How's it going, guys? Nerf Gun Charlie here, and I'm back with our second mission for Star Trek Armada Future Tense. Before I really get into the map, I just wanted to make a note because there was some feedback on one of the Discords I'm a part of. The background music on the main menu is too loud, so as you can tell, nowhere near the volume. I decided I just went ahead, I took that WAV file, put it in Audacity, and I lowered its amplitude by about 85%. So it's like 15% volume as a saved file. That's going to come with the mod. Also lowered in-game volume for the recording of this video, so that way it shouldn't be that loud. You shouldn't really hear the music. There shouldn't be a lot of speaking. You'll hear some weapon effects. That's about it. So I did mess with the audio, and I was just making for sure that you guys could hear me and that the game wasn't washing me out on that one. So I do apologize for that on the last video. Now, here's the difference between this map and the last one. The last one, as I was trying to describe, and I'm hoping everybody heard me, that was an autoplay. That was a sensor log. So you are letting it play out to get your idea of how this conflict starts. For this one, this is the first playable map, and you're playing as the bad guys. So the insanely powerful Sernaix that you saw in the first map, that sensor log, now you're playing as them. You have access to their special weapons. And the story here is, it's been like a week since the incident recorded on Federation sensors. The Sernaix have started to spread, and one of their first major targets is Narendra 3. They see this as a rally point, a stronghold of sorts for the Klingons, which they already have assumed is a major threat based on some of the first week conflict. So that's their target. Their target is to wipe out all Federation Klingon presence in this area, and we won't have it on this map, but I guess, in quotation marks, the final target for them is they're going to wipe out life on Narendra 3. They want to make sure there's nothing left. So your purpose here is literally you're going to blow through every Klingon here. Just blow them up, destroy all the targets, destroy all the stations, and then it's implied that once all that's done, you're going to start bombarding the planet. Like I said, I can add it in where you can actually attack the planet. I just don't want to do that right now, simply because A1 multiplayer doesn't really let you stop at a certain point, so there is the chance that I code it the way I want it, you wipe out all life on the planet, and Sernaix weaponry, stray shots, blows up the planet. Don't want to do that. So it's merely an implication at this point. But that's going to be what it is. It's simple. Now, changing up what we did for the first map, player is going to be Sernaix. You can put the AI to whatever you want it to be, but it's going to be Federation, 2 different teams. When you select the map, you want to make sure it is fixed placement. For any of these maps that I create, it's fixed placement to make sure you start as the race you're supposed to. If you don't, you could accidentally play as the Federation Klingon faction on here. I didn't make it where the Federation Klingons could win. We're trying to show how powerful the Sernaix are on this map. So you play as the Federation, you're going to lose. It is what it is. We're going to make sure Shroud and Fog are off, and then map units instead of standard. Just map units, that's what's going to access it. The idea is they've opened a rift. It's kind of caused a, mini shroud as it is here, kind of a foggy shroud, and that's what they're pushing through. So, hopefully, the audio is good. And if you do like this video, you do like what you're seeing so far, as you can see, here's the fog. If you like what you see, feel free to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you're looking forward to with this mod. There we go. As you can see, they didn't stand a chance. They're not supposed to. So some of the weapons you're going to be facing off using is the Sernaix, and we're going to try to make sure work against them. You've got on the Serpents. On the Sernaix classes, you've got Transwarp, Cloak, and you have Polyphasic Torpedoes. I'm basically using Polaron coating for that. I'm trying to make sure they do a little bit of damage on that. There are no special weapons on the Thorn class, only because it's basically using an auto fire beam weapon that does a lot of damage. So they really don't special. There's no real purpose. There's no real purpose to it. Let me see if I can get them up here. And like I said, when you're playing as the Sernaix, yes, you will be able to beat them when you're playing against them, when you're playing as the allies. But these missions are meant to show off how powerful they are. You know, how outclassed the allies are when they first jump in, because the only, going off of the Virtual Voyager stories, and that link is in the description, as for all the videos so far. The only real crew that's faced off against them is Voyager, Captain Janeway, or I should say Admiral Janeway's crew. So she has some idea, but that knowledge really hasn't spread through, really hasn't been adapted. They were thought of as a distant threat. Basically, between the time that she encounters them and when this event occurs, it's been enough time. It's basically thought of like the Borg. When the Borg initially happened in TNG, they started the Defiant class. Then it was like, oh, well, the Borg aren't that much of a threat. There's some design issues here with the ship. The Defiant gets mothballed, and then it comes back because of DS9. Kind of the same thing as here. So this is, let me use these two as my example. As you can see, I took off the grids. There's no real point to them. Come on. No real point to them having any specials with what they can do right there. These are actually heavy targets you want to get rid of quickly. Then we move to the others. Let me see here. I think that's all the cruisers. Yep, that's all the cruisers. You got, like I said, PDP, things of that nature. Your smallest ones are the Coronas. Their big to do is energy restoration torpedoes. So basically you fire these at an ally and it restores their special weapon energy over time. So when you're fighting as them, and let's say I make a very, very, very challenging map, you're using a lot of specials to plow through all of your enemies, this will help with those nasty little special weapons. Then let me find a battleship. I should say your battle cruiser has high-yield polyphasic torpedoes, which are essentially coated off of tricobalts, and then a phased energy beam. It's essentially coated as a mixture of ultrinium beam with tricobalt to some degree. It also does some minor system destabilization when it's working the way, when everything works the way it's supposed to. There's the rare chance that it doesn't, only because of the interaction timers. But I would say it works about 98% of the time to basically disable a couple of random subsystems, heavy damage to the shields, that kind of stuff. And then lastly, at least for now, your node vessel, which is essentially their big bad battleship. It's like, there's one that's higher than this, and we'll show that up. We might show that. We might not. I don't know. But this is just their biggest main production line vessel. And they've got boarding parties and what's called the Kelp Tucknell. If you go into the lore, this essentially is the biggest and baddest ship-to-ship weapon that has ever been designed. Depending on what you're fighting, the Kelp Tucknell can one-shot a starship. And it's also what gets adapted in the story for Virtual Voyager. It's what gets adapted onto the Voyager A. So when you're playing through Future Tense, you will see that the Voyager A hero unit does have a Kelp Tucknell, and there is story lore behind that upgrade. Then, like I said, there is one more vessel. Because it's a ship-to-ship weapon. There we go. So, if that's what you were planning on doing, for these purposes, it will not work. The Kelp Tucknell is meant for ship-to-ship, so you're not going to be able to use it against any stations. Relying more on the polyphasic torpedoes for high yield. Destroy heavy targets as quickly as possible. But that's it. That is map 2. It is their assault on Narendra 3, trying to grow their beachhead, trying to purge the galaxy. So I hope you guys enjoyed looking at this second preview of what the story is. I'm not 100% if I'm going to continue doing all the missions, because I do want to have some surprise there. And there is a couple of big twists on the story that we kind of have planned out. So half of me wants to keep recording it and just play it all out for you guys. The other half wants to stop right here and let you guys play through the rest of them for the first time, and you've never seen them. So I'm on the debate for that. I might post a poll on the YouTube channel for it. Not sure yet, but I probably will post the poll in the next day or two. You'll probably see the poll the same day the video goes out. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said before, like, comment, subscribe. And if I do take a hiatus from Future Tense recording, because I don't want to show off any of the other missions, what might end up happening instead is we show off some of the AI that I've written. Or, based on the previous poll we did, I might go ahead and start doing videos on the next Armada 1 mod that I plan to upgrade and refresh in honor of the teammates and people that I know made that mod that I have a lot of respect for in the modding community. I already have that loaded up, and that was what was voted on. The other options in the poll, those are eventually going to happen on the channel, but I have that loaded up on the new laptop, and we're going to be testing it on Windows 11 Pro and the whole 9 yards. So hopefully everything went well for you guys watching this. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And until next time, y'all stay safe out there. And I'll see you later.